Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wise Kracks. I don't know why I sound so happy because I'm still in mourning over the Dallas Cowboys, and you are dressed appropriately in honor of the Cowboys. Did you plan that?
Plan what?
That's cowboy blue.
Oh. No, I just grabbed something that went with a black shirt, and it just has some black on it, so I know.
Subconsciously?
You're right, that is.
Don't you think it means subconsciously?
No, I hate them. I hate them.
For
I needed them to cover 4 points the other day. For a just good season hedge I had. They were right there. It was on 4. 4 would have been fine. Do
you hate them for that? Or
Absolutely. I have no allegiance to a team. I don't care what happens after the game. Like I always say.
Did you ever love them?
Party it up? No, I don't love anybody though in sports.
Weren't the Cowboys weren't they good to you in the 90s?
No.
Is it bad that I'm bringing up
no, not
the
at all.
90s?
No.
Like, weren't they good to you 30 years ago?
Yeah. No. It's not that. It's just that the way I work. I bet on teams and bet on players.
They don't pay your bills.
Stuff.
If you lose, they don't pay your bills, the players.
Yeah, there's no allegiance. I would never be in the stands rooting for someone just because I was a fan of the team.
Right.
What do they do for you?
Yeah. We've got a very special show. We got a special guest in studio today. We got George Carmona, the host of Gridiron Junkeez. You know what it is? You touch so many shows here at Sticky Paws that I just can't keep it straight. I feel like you are just all things junkies.
Yeah, no, I'd like to think that, I also laid my ground, though, with WSN.
Right.
For the people that are true WSN lovers, you probably have been missing me a little bit.
It's true.
On the Instagram post.
You used to be on their TikTok and stuff.
But I've returned.
You've returned. You're back.
And I have, in the meantime, been touching a lot of junkie shows. That sounded a little weird.
Yes, that's it.
Touching junkies.
It's okay. George was a school teacher, Bill.
Yes, I just heard.
Yeah.
That's cool.
From school teacher, and he's no stranger to sports betting.
And no more school teaching.
No more school teaching.
Okay.
Yeah,
just sports betting.
Sports betting because school teachers get paid. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to have some.
We don't curse on the show.
Got you.
Yeah, we don't f around like that.
This dude.
4 games last weekend. Not really the best games in terms of viewing pleasure. The Eagles and the Bengals just absolutely dominated. The 49ers game was odd, right? I referred to it as the 49ers game.
Yeah, but it's Kyle Shanahan's like I gotta prove it season, right? He's had all these flops, and like out of everybody, at least the coaches that have something riding, he has the most riding out of any coach in this postseason. Nick Sirianni doesn't really have too much pressure, which I think is what makes the Eagles really dangerous. But yeah,
is there anyone sticks out to you right now?
I'm trying to find anyone that likes Kansas City. Everyone's all over the Bengals. I mean,
do you think it's because of the injury? Because of Mahomes' injury?
Of course it is.
But I feel like he'll step up. They'll shoot him up.
They would be a 1-point favorite if he wasn't injured. Maybe more. Kansas City. I mean, even though he is hobbling around out there, he'll have his leg really taped up,
shot up with cortisone.
He'll be shot up with some stuff for sure.
Right.
And maybe he'll be feeling good by game time. I'm sure, but we'll see what happens. He's not going to be to his 100% self. So.
But then sometimes that's when all roads lead to bet the Bengals. You got to go the other way, right?
It's a situation here where I'm waiting to see someone that I know that, someone respectful that's going to be on Kansas City.
I was going to say I'll be on Kansas City, but that doesn't count. I don't count.
No, I'm just saying like. Would you think Kansas City, even though he's hobbling around out there? Good.
Yes. I like the Cinderella story. So anything that's on the Cinderella story highway, I like.
Well, he's already been
Cinderella story is if Chad Henne gets the start, which I think even if Chad, let's just say Patrick Mahomes' ankle was broken last week, and you're coming in with Chad Henne, it's still the system, right? Like Patrick Mahomes plays in a killer Chiefs offense and system that it proved that when Chad Henne took him on that 96-yard drive before the half ended, that you can plug and place people and make it work. Now, can you make it work for 4 quarters?
Right.
That's another story. But
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, I'm a Andy Reid aholic.
Yeah,
like I want this man to have the like a triple size cheeseburger.
Yeah,
after he beats the Bengals, and I think it's possible, because that whole team of destiny thing for the Bengals, and the odds are coming out on their side. I was looking the other day at Stations Casinos, and they had picking the exacto in the final game, Cincinnati over Philly at plus 400.
Let me tell you something. They're robbing people over there at Stations as usual. But, there's no reason. Listen, you can get much more than that. I mean,
really?
Yeah. Plus, I'm not allowed to play there, so I have a little hard on for them anyway. So,
No, okay. So then enlighten me on
for winning. So give me the one you're saying.
No, it was Cincinnati over Philly at plus 400. That was the one that stuck out to me.
You're saying, so if you could bet that's going to be the Super Bowl matchup and the Bengals win. I like that.
Bengals over Philly plus 520 at Circa. See them there?
Wow.
I just know Stations is robbing.
We
people.
know where George Carmona is going at the conclusion of this show. He'll be driving down to Circa.
Oh, Circa. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Circa has just to go into that conversation, by the way.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine from back east texted me. He said, and I really didn't look into it yet. Let's see, where are you, Charlie? Charlie said, info for talk shows, all Circa. The Super Bowl execs pay much more better at Circa than teams to win the Super Bowl. So what he's saying, I'm going to read his things. A $200 bet gets you at worst $575 on the Eagles, but a $200 bet on them to win the Super Bowl is only plus 460. So in other words, the Eagles over the bet. This is a Super Bowl for the Super Bowl, by the way. We're not allowed to call the Super Bowl here. So it's the NFL Championship game. That's the law in Nevada.
Really?
Yeah. You can't.
NFL has the rights.
NFL has the rights to it. They're not allowed to say we're having a Super Bowl party.
Call it the big game. You call it the big game.
That's been throwing me off.
So Eagles to defeat the Bengals are plus 520 at Circa. Eagles to defeat the Chiefs are plus 650. So that's the two odds there. Now, if you were to bet them just to win, which they also have good odds on that. Eagles to win the NFL championship is plus 245. So you put more money on the exact, as it actually returns more money than betting a future just on them to win, is what he's saying. I like how Circa has yes and no also. You could bet no on the teams too.
Just whoever won't win.
Yeah, you could bet the Eagles not to win the NFL championship at minus 3-1. You have to lay 3-1.
Right.
Because if they lose this weekend, you win that bet. If they lose the Super Bowl, you win that bet.
Right.
So
those are good bets.
They are good bets. The no's are the better bets than the yeses normally.
And you're not a guy that likes to pay the juice.
No.
But you would in this case.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. Maybe. I would. I like the no maybe on the Chiefs. Well, the no is minus 380 on the Chiefs. So they have to win 2 games in order for you to get the money there. And I like the Bengals this weekend. I would like to know on the 49ers, but I can't lay 4-1. It's 4-1 on the no there. Listen, Purdy kind of showed a little bit more of those being a rookie last weekend finally. And, he may learn off that game, though. He may learn off that situation. So they won the game. I'm not saying they didn't win. But, Dallas just played terrible. Dak's terrible. The end of the $250 million quarterback era for a while.
You think so?
Yeah.
His contracts are going to get adjusted?
Yeah.
I think so
Lamar Jackson should have signed a contract when he got offered the $133 million guaranteed. Give or take, $230 million, $133 guaranteed. He turned it down.
It's so crazy.
He turned it down, and he's not going to get that offer again. I mean, look at the bust. Not bust. Bust is a strong word, but let's look at the quarterbacks.
Russell Wilson was a bust.
Wilson, the kid on Arizona, in my mind's had a loss.
Kyler Murray.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say he's a bust yet because he really came back with Cleveland and only played. I don't know how many games did he played?
He played
4.
6.
Did he play 6?
Yeah.
So he may not have been in good form. We'll see next year what happens with him, but it gave him a $250 million too. It's just
Dak is a bust, right? Is Dak officially?
I don't know if he's a bust, but I just know that he's not the same Dak. Maybe even before the injury where he got carted off the field, but they gave him that contract after that. So
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
How do you feel like looking into his eyes? Because I think this is like when they talk about moxie, I almost feel like it's what do your eyes look like after almost a catastrophic up.
Yeah.
And there was numerous times where they would zoom in on Dak Prescott eyes and he looked so lost.
Yeah.
He looked like me on my first day of school.
I agree with you.
Lost
in high school,
that.
just like Where am I?
I agree with you. Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I just don't. I don't understand why this team. It's almost 30 years they can't get it together. How is that possible? They got all the money.
As long as Jerry Jones, when he's alive, he's still alive. I'm happy. I don't want him to do anything under him. He's a guy that should step back and just, he's very successful in other things. Just step back and let the pros take over, and don't your ego's in the way.
He's the new Al Davis, right? Just gets in the way of the team.
I'll take Al Davis over him any day.
Really?
Any day.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like Jerry.
Wow. Have you met him?
No.
He's not your cup of tea.
No.
Your running back wants to take a pay cut to stay. Did you see that? Zeke said,
really?
I'm willing to take a pay cut to stay.
I think he knows it.
He knows it if he's saying it, right? Like if he's saying it, dude. And Jerry's fed up.
I don't know what to think with the Cowboys, and then the kicker situation. That guy's he might be cursed forever now.
Well, why he came back? Kicked a little, he was okay. The first one was he would have missed the first.
He would have
one.
missed that first one. It was not. That was not a good kick. Yeah, he came back. He kicked the 2, or 3, whatever it was. But
people made out on that little prop bet.
Yeah, 5-1, right?
Yeah.
Did you bet on that?
No.
I'm surprised you didn't.
No. They wasn't high enough odds mathematically. If you take the math and break it down, and literally just look at the year that he had, and divide the amount of misses by the amount of he made, and it wasn't worth what they were giving you. You should have got more than that on
and
true
it was
odds.
Extra point only too. It wasn't field goal.
Right.
If it was field goal, I would have maybe considered that.
Yeah.
So Bill, before the Bengals and Bills squared off, George right here posted on Instagram. Can Josh? He said something like Josh Allen cannot handle the pressure. What
it was the composure. It was the composure. It's the same exact thing I was just talking about Dak Prescott, where it's just like these little boy eyes,
right?
And you figure a dude like Joe Burrow might have those little boy eyes,
right?
But Josh Allen has that same thing, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. He also has like a Gillette commercial, like where he shaves and he looks like a little baby.
Yeah.
He isn't composed. And the city of Buffalo's given too much to the kid. They named a street after him.
Yeah.
Win a championship.
Too much too soon.
And he's not a $250,000 quarterback, but he's going to.
Well, they gave him $40 million a year.
40?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he gets. I'll look it up.
So I chimed in on the post and I said, absolutely he can handle the pressure. He's going to step. And no, I was wrong. He didn't.
The offense is too wild. I think the loss also belongs to like Sean McDermott and that OC and that coaching staff really to
$43 million per year.
Wow.
Yeah. They gave him $258 million they gave him.
Well, they run their offense like with that price point in mind. They're like, no, we're gonna literally risk your life.
Yeah.
Lots of quarterback powers.
I like him still. I still like him, but he didn't rise to the occasion.
Yeah, then everybody in Buffalo has been saying like every year, like, oh, we have a running game. Like they've never had a running game that isn't Josh Allen in the last 3 years. And until that happens, like,
and the game played out to your point that you've made a bunch of times. Like they were in a snow. It basically played it in a blizzard. And normally people would say Buffalo, but you always say like the weather. It doesn't really matter, right? You always say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't. It's the wind. I mean, look at the game. Look at this. That's a perfect situation. People seen it, and by the way, it moved 1.5 points down. Really? Right. As soon as the pregame shows came on, it moved. So it moved down, and obviously we know the result. So, I got to tell you, I see a stat here. It says first time in many years, both point spreads under 3 in many years. I don't know. Aren't the point spreads supposed to be under 3? Isn't it supposed to be the best teams isn't it the best best two teams in the shouldn't it be under?
Right. At this point,
I don't know.
Right. It should be pick 'em across.
It's supposed to be low, like that. So, but yes, it did. 4 unders hit. It played good for the bookmakers. Bookmakers needed Cincinnati to win. Bookmakers had another good weekend. By the way, we had a good weekend. Crack wins killed it last week. Yeah. And just like I came on the week before and said, hey, we lost. Good. When these low scores like that for the under props and stuff, it was a good week. Yeah. And
what are you thinking for the following week now?
Same thing. I would probably need some low scores. Cincinnati, Kansas City. It opened up at a couple sportsbooks. Caesars 48.5 down to 47 now. A couple 46.5s. I would think that the low scoring games would probably be better for me. I'll probably have under on a lot of props. So. especially the Kansas City game. I think I'm going to have some unders. So, I've been doing really good with a Cincinnati prop. I've been giving it out live on air on Sunday mornings on the show I do. Will Cincinnati score first? No, it's team to score first, Cincinnati, and they've been doing really. Last week again, I took like $1.20 out here. I took $1.05, $1.10. I bet it 3 times Cincinnati to score first. The people don't realize. Even my other co-host didn't. They don't realize that you have to just look at the history of the teams. You have to know what the coaches want to happen.
Right.
Like Cincinnati made the fur, or they may take the kick. They've been taking it, so they've been taking the ball. And other teams are 50-50. So already I'm like 75% in my favor that they're going to get the ball first. So that's why, especially a plus money, even though it's versus Buffalo, that played out really good. So
you like those bets?
I like certain bets when all it is just using information that's out there.
Using the history repeats
using
itself.
the history, what the team's tendencies are, if they want to defer. There's a lot of little intricate moving parts that all you have to do is, doing research. We'll talk about that next week too. Just research the person who's going to sing the national anthem. You know what? That's blown now. That's blown. It's over. You can't even find a sports book.
You can't even get the bets.
No, you can't even put
Back in the day, George, Bill was notorious. When I first met him, when I first met you, was it 6-7 years ago now?
More than that.
He was like, I know the first song.
Coldplay.
Coldplay, Yellow.
Did I give you that one?
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yep. I know the first song Coldplay's going to sing.
Real simple.
At the
Just research
show.
in that case, it was a little more inside than that.
You had that. You had the national anthem over under, I think, right? Of how long it was going to be.
Yeah, I've killed them over the years.
Yeah.
So, but
unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was unbelievable. Like
I won 5 figures on that Coldplay on that
color of
yellow.
the Gatorade. Color of the Gatorade.
Color of the Gatorade.
At the end.
Just you got to know. I missed that the last couple of years though.
Yeah, the last 2, but you were good for four in a row.
Yeah, but knowing the song choice, just knowing
the song
anyone
choice.
In the stadium that's there watching them warm up.
Right.
So Rihanna's first song, that won't be a prop anymore.
It won't even be up anymore.
They won't.
Because
he ruined it. Yes.
I'm not going to say because of me.
I'm going to say because of you. It got to a point, you don't even know this. My buddy Roger, he lives in Detroit.
Right.
And, he knows a lot of the boys, and those kind of boys. And he's got a lot of bookmakers out there. We couldn't even get them down on yellow. We were trying back then. He was like, hey, I want to bet.
That was up in a lot of spots.
He was like, I want to bet $10,000. He wanted to put 10 grand on it.
Yeah. And then I had, it came up, and then I had to prove to people that it was yellow because he acapello'd
You're
yellow.
Right.
He came out and acapello'd it.
Right.
And they said,
The
well,
first
does
couple
that
lines.
count? Yeah, it counts.
Right.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah. Yeah. And the anthem's tricky, though, because if they get one word wrong.
One word. Christina Aguilera said one
Christina
wrong.
Aguilera, right.
She missed by one word.
Right. You know that? If you flub a word, which is very common.
It pushes?
Yeah.
Is it a
it's a void.
It pushes.
Void.
It's a void because she didn't sing the song.
It's a void. Yeah.
That's so
But
lame.
then there could be shots that are taken at you. If you're playing with, bookies offshore, they could say, oh, no. And what are you going to do? You can't fight no one. You have American gaming companies here that's supposed to protect you. You have, casino control commissions and gaming boards that supposedly protect you. So there's, at least you have something here compared to the offshore world.
That's bananas to me.
Yeah.
So if I was just to do some what was your research process like to find out the first song for Coldplay?
I just told you. There's no research. Just that someone rat him out in the
Okay.
He's got people on the ground.
Okay.
He's got people on the ground.
That was a security guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like
research.
Research.
Here's the research. Whoever's singing the national anthem, just go on YouTube and watch when they sang the national anthem.
And how long it took.
Just time it.
Yeah.
And you want to add a little bit more because it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You can add a couple seconds or something.
A little more showmanship, extra showmanship.
Yeah. But it's over. But that's been just nothing but money. Yeah.
Yeah. I've loved those bets. Yeah. He, on prop bets, when San Francisco played the Chiefs,
okay,
I feel like you hit, I don't know the number. I want to say 18 out of 20 props.
Not that many.
I hit a lot that day, Bill.
Yeah.
I hit a lot. But every single prop you gave me, and I crushed Super Bowl.
Yeah, no,
that year.
Super Bowl props are a real big thing for me, and I'm going to have a ton of them this year again. This year, setting up with these teams to be good prop. This should be a good prop Super Bowl, and this weekend should be good props too. So
yeah, well, let's talk about this weekend. So we've got San Fran and Philadelphia. Is San Francisco still plus 2.5?
Yep.
That seems crazy to me.
It's everyone's betting Philadelphia too. You're right. Yeah, people are betting.
What do you think?
It's Brock Purdy's time. I'll say it again. I'm going to keep saying it until he wins a Super Bowl in my face. It's Brock Purdy's time to throw 3 interceptions.
Brock Purdy's
in a
time.
game.
It's his first year.
It's his time to
You're
fuck
just saying
up.
because he's been lights out.
Too lights out.
I thought you said. I thought you like San Fran.
No.
You said
No.
Brock Purdy's time.
Yeah,
It's
he's
Brock
saying
Purdy's
it's time to fail.
His time has come.
Okay.
His time has
You
come.
think?
Bill,
The party's over.
But what about the Cinderella story? My theory, Cinderella.
I think just
Wasn't he like the last pick?
I've heard things about the link and how ruthless Philadelphia is. I just don't see a rookie quarterback
going in there and getting it done.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Fantastic point. The link is the toughest place to play.
And
I say it across platforms
Those
every
fans.
week. The fans,
It matters.
Philly's tough, man.
You can't hear the snap. They're gonna be relentless.
Listen, I'll tell you a bet right now that I'm going to be making.
Okay.
I'll be betting like Philadelphia money line first half. Let's see what the money line is. Minus $1.35. I'll be doing something
That's
like
because
that.
of like opening game jitters, first quarter jitters,
maybe even
first drive
just gonna say maybe
jitters.
even first quarter.
Yeah.
First quarter is minus 135 at Stations in Westgate. Of course, if you bet it at Stations, you might get thrown out like me. But for having a pulse, if you go in there and cut your wrist and there's blood, and if it's red blood, you're gone. Any other color, you're good. Yeah. So, So Stations and Westgate, just to give them a couple little things there. Win New Jersey minus $1.30. Interesting. So.
George, Bill made a bet at a Stations Casino not too long ago, and he was in the parking. You made it to the parking lot, right? And
that was about 3 years ago. That one.
Okay.
This particular one,
a guy chased you out.
Yeah.
Ask for the ticket back
at Red Rock. Asked for the ticket back. Said, we gave you the wrong odds on that. In other words, it wasn't like I was betting, +7 when it was -7. I bet something at 70 to 1 that should have been. He said, "Oh, well, no, it's only 30 to 1. We gave you 70 to 1." Yeah.
Give me
a break. No, they're if you like
and they said
they're terrible. They're terrible. The things they do are terrible. Then I went on and I bet a quarterback plus. I bet a team plus 14. It went to 11. They came and said, my boss said you're not allowed to play no more at none of the casinos
or give the
none
ticket
of our
back.
casinos. I went to Red Rock. I dealt with Art Mantaris, who's since then retired. And Art was just, he's scared to death. I mean, his job, he's been stealing paychecks for 25 years. It's that simple. No, seriously. These casinos don't know any better. And, they have guys like him that run the sports books, and they just are stealing paychecks. That's all I can tell you. He was the biggest thief. There's a couple of them, but there's a couple really good ones too that we like that aren't stealing paychecks. But Art was one that was stealing paychecks. He must go home every day and he must have an altar at his house when he goes and kneels on the altar, looking up to God and saying, "How did this happen? How did I amass this wealth? Thank you, God. I don't know what I was doing, but I amassed this wealth because I conned the sports book into letting me work all these years, all these sports books. I'm scared to death to take bets, but I still have amassed all this wealth."
That is a clip.
That, without a doubt, is so. I'm done with Station.
Right?
I'm like going to delete the app right now.
They take anyone that loses. If you lose, if you're a sucker, if the line doesn't go in your favor,
I am a loser.
which 99.99, you're not alone. 99.99, not 99.9, 99. So literally, 1 in 25,000 people walk in there and have a pulse and know what they're doing, and the line's going to move their way. They don't want you. Now, they'll warn you. They'll give you 1 trip per day. So now the management will come over to you and say, "Hey, you're allowed to come to our counter 1 day per day. You bet all your bets then. You can't come in."
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's the first warning.
So you can't get out in front of
Can't
line
get out
movements.
in front. Perfect, exactly, John. Can't get out in front of lines.
See, I'm learning.
1 per day, 1 trip per day. And then if your 1 trip per day turns profitable, now it's just you're done. They tried to tell me my ticket was on there, and my ticket would beat the line. They wanted the money back, and they can't. They blame me all different things, and now I go and talk to them. They reinstate me. Now I put a Twitter post up from New Jersey, but I was back here. Like right now, I have stuff right now to go on my Twitter. I haven't done yet. It was something in New Jersey, and they say, "Hey, you posted that Twitter pic, and you were in Jersey, and we have a bet that came through on the app under your name." said the video was from last week.
Right.
It was from last week. I just posted it now. No. It was from last week, though. Well, it's the same time you were technically put that up. It's the same time you made a bet here. And someone must be making bets for you. Like, give me a break. They just wanted me out of there.
Wow. Whoa. So you always quote, we both do, the movie Casino.
Yeah.
In the end, we get it all.
In the end,
right?
They get it all.
So let me ask you this. You posted, I think yesterday, the day before, the only scenario that the books don't want is the Niners to win. Any other scenario? Was it you that posted that? Oh, then I saw a post.
Oh.
The books, one of these casino books said, any scenario is good for us with the exception of one. If San Francisco wins the Super Bowl, we're doomed. It's a major loss.
Before the playoffs started, I heard one of the books say that. I don't know which one. You're right.
And I saw it again yesterday or the day before. I thought you posted it. No. So with that said, if we know the books always get it, doesn't that mean then most likely San Francisco's not going to win it all, like to your point?
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, God protects the bookmakers. That's all I can tell you. God protects the bookmakers.
All right, let's move on to the other game. Cincinnati and Kansas City. Kansas City is +1 right now, even with a banged up Mahomes.
Yeah. +1, and this game would be at any other point, Kansas City would be a 3-point favorite in this situation. If Mahomes was absolutely perfect, I think they would be at least 2. But I would even think now that I'm looking, because I haven't really seen no Kansas City money coming in, but I'm looking as we see. Some of the offshore markets are pick 'em. So it's funny. We're just talking about the game. It's literally right in front of me. This is place Jazz, which I really follow because they control on. They just went to pick. So I would look for this game more towards game time, probably being around pick 'em too. I agree with that.
And if you made a bet right now, made a bet on either way on that game, would the line move right now?
No.
It wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
No way.
Because it's just been fluctuating too much in the past 48 hours.
No, not that it's been fluctuating too much. Just that there's so much money on this game. Someone like myself even
it's not
can't control the market. No.
Got it.
No.
On a random Thursday game, though,
it would. Yeah.
Right.
No. This is not me. This will be I think some major money will probably be coming in more towards the game on Kansas City, and this game will close around Pick'em or something like that. And let me tell you, this is a game I'm looking forward to see. I can't wait to watch these games. This should be really fun. These are 2 good games.
Yeah.
Anyone can win these games.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yes.
San Fran can easily beat Philly. Mm-hmm. Philly can easily beat San Fran. We can go the other way, too. I mean, it's just on the Kansas City game. Sure.
I feel like this is the first time in a few years where I'm cool with any scenario for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I remember, I don't even remember the teams last year or the year before, but I remember thinking,
this year?
Oh, God, please not. Yeah. I don't remember who it was even in the running last year, but I was like, oh, man. I can't even remember.
Someone just texted me that Washington beat Philly in Philly just a few weeks ago. He's right. Washington went into Philly.
Right.
Philly needed the game.
Right.
And Washington beat them in Philly.
Right.
So just think about that. He's right.
Yeah. My Saints went in there late in the season with Taysom Hill.
Well,
and Jalen Hurts was hurt.
Hurts wasn't in that game. You had You had a Minshew quarterback in there. Mania. I'm talking about when he was healthy. So,
there was one prop that I was like, since you really like prop bets, Bill.
Yeah.
Bengals versus KC. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion?
Ooh.
I really like that one. With how crafty Kansas City is.
What's the?
It's plus 270 for yes.
Love that.
Minus 360 for no. Right. I really do like that prop.
Look where you're looking.
Yeah, I know where I'm looking, Bill. I'm deleting it after this show, okay? I'm driving down to Circa, and I'm making an account.
You like that bet? I feel like that's a good bet. A 2-point conversion on either side?
Either side.
Plus 270?
Yeah.
They have a plus and a minus?
Yeah.
They have a plus and a minus. That actually impresses me that they do have the plus and minus. So.
Really?
Well, yeah, because usually they're only one-way bets.
I like that you leave it, even in your hatred.
Yeah.
You'll still extend a little credit.
A number.
Yeah, no, I give them credit for putting that. Listen. I'm saying that stuff about Stations. Stations is a fantastic book to have in your arsenal. Fantastic. And you want to know why?
Yeah.
Real simple. They have a lot of a lot of things that no one has odds-wise. You'll get an extra half a point there on a game. You'll get extra juice on something against the public. They're a real square shop because it's all taking public money. In $50 and $100 increments, it adds up so much. They have to overmove the lines, which makes it juicy for someone like myself to come in and grab them. You know what I mean? So really, you have to have stations in your arsenal.
Interesting.
Because like I said, the 99.99, that's the regular Joe public. You guys all need that. You should have them in your arsenal. I'll tell you that much.
Let me ask you this.
It's not a personal thing against stations. It may be personal against some of their management, but I'll still say they're great to have in your arsenal.
If a new guy came in and he said, Bill, we were looking at the history of the people that we've 86'd out of the book, and I want to mend the relationship. I want to wipe the slate clean, and I want to start over with you, Bill.
Yeah.
Would you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
listen, I just gave them good press for the sports book that they are.
And then what would it be? Then there'd be a negotiation in that conversation of like, okay, let's talk about limits. Let's talk about props. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we had a negotiation. They put me back in already. I posted a Twitter clip from here. And they said, oh, you were in Jersey. So the clip was here. I mean, and then they suspended my account. That's the excuse they gave. They look for excuses to throw people out that win. But I'm telling you right now, if you come to Vegas, you have to have stations in your arsenal. You have to have stations. You have to have William Hill. You have to have these places that have square lines. The coast properties, you have to have them in your arsenal. BetMGM, you have to have them in your arsenal. If you don't, you're missing out on different, let's use a prop bet. You'll take all four of those books. You'll have 4 different numbers on the quarterback, the Hurts rushing yards. You'll have 4 different numbers to go over or under on. I mean, that's pretty stupid if you just choose from one.
No, that's the exact same thing that I've been missing, because I even didn't have my William Hill. I used to have William Hill, and to be able to bounce back and forth. That's what I've learned a lot about you, and seeing the way that you study it is just you got to keep your options open. I'm gonna hit you with another prop bet here that I just saw. Okay. First team to punt in Chiefs versus the Bengals. The Chiefs are plus 100, Bengals minus 130.
Yeah, first team to punt. Well.
Chiefs don't punt too often. That's why that number. But then that's
I'm going to go back to what I said with Cincinnati getting the ball first too.
True.
Right.
Mathematically, you're probably supposed to bet the Bengals there.
And Chiefs don't punt too often because he converts on third down a lot.
True.
So, but if he's banged up, I don't know.
But like you said, Bill, they get the ball first, so that's why that number makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Anything else? Final thoughts?
I just wanted to make sure. Yeah. So I'm going back to this. Yeah. Washington beat Philadelphia 32-21.
Yeah.
And Hurts was the quarterback, so he was. I wanted to make sure I was right. He had 2 touchdowns and an interception.
Yeah, that was like 2-3 weeks ago, right?
No, it was. I can't
3
see
weeks
the
ago.
date. It looks like it was. Hold on. November 14th. Wow. So it was November 14th.
Yeah. So
but anyway, trust me, the Eagles were in form there. They may have even been. I think they were 8-1 at that time, but they were rolling along, and for that to happen there just goes to show you that any given Sunday scenario, and including this week, that can happen. Yeah, they lost to the Saints. I think they lost to the Cowboys too. They had some. I'll tell you, looking at their schedule and who they've played. Yes, they've been rolling along. I understand. They beat the Giants. They beat the Lions 38-35. I'm looking at their whole season really here. It was just late in the season. The Cowboys beat them 40-34. That was in Dallas. The Saints did beat them 20-10 when they really didn't need it. How about the Jets? Oh, no, you can't count that. That was the first preseason game. Can't count that. I didn't remember that. But anyway, if you look at their scores throughout the year too, even the Cardinals, they only beat them 20-17. I mean, Cardinals are one of the worst teams in football. So, how about the Colts? That was the scary thing. The Colts, they beat 17-16. I mean, this is not. They showed they were human, though. Any one of these teams can win this week. I'll just tell you that. That's the way to look at it. Don't bet the whole bankroll on something. Last week I talked about there's other ways. There's secondary markets. There's other ways to bet. How about just those things I just showed you? You brought them up, though. The Super Bowl exactas, which normally are sucker bets. Mm-hmm. But some of them, if you look at them, you're better off betting them than the team to win the Super Bowl at this point. That's all.
Will you watch the games in a book this week? The comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I enjoy doing that, but I mean, but it's possible if someone, if I have a reason to go, everyone's screaming and yelling and stuff. But yeah, you didn't go to Resorts World?
I didn't this weekekend.
Yeah, you didn't go.
I didn't because I went to the show. I had to go to my dad's show.
Okay, no, I meant the last week.
No, I didn't go the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I went to go bet props there 2 weeks ago when I had the problem there. I still have the ticket in my pocket. I got to go over there and cash that.
Yeah.
But there's another book, Scared to Death. Should not be in business.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars it costs for the resort, and they won't take a $300 prop bet. So
he tried to make a $300 prop bet at the kiosk, and it kicked it out.
Kicked it out. Kicked it out. Took the game off the board and came back on and lowered it 40 cents.
Took the game off the board for about 10 minutes.
If I had a gaming officer next to me that really knew about the industry and knew what it was, what's going on,
he'd crack down on them.
He would attempt to say, "Wow, that should be," but their excuse can be someone betted on the app or someone betted on another kiosk. But we all know that's bullshit because that didn't happen. It wasn't like that.
Right.
You know, literally it was a Friday night betting a under on the Miami kid, the quarterback on Miami. Will he not throw a touchdown pass? So it was a total market that no one would be betting on a Friday night when the game's Sunday. And basically they're cheating. They're cheating. They're actually cheating. They're doing something that I feel that is definitely cheating. They're lowering.
They're manipulating things so they get an edge.
Being at a blackjack table and them, paying you 6 to 5 instead of 3 to 2 without the game showing it.
Right.
And saying, "Oh yeah, well we switched this to 6 to 5 the other day. We didn't tell no one yet."
You're the first blackjack.
You're the first blackjack. Sorry about that. Here's a 6 to 5. It's the same exact scenario, but unfortunately here they have excuses that they can come up with.
They can hide.
It's terrible what they do.
It's crazy.
And then you have to explain the gaming, and it's tough. Gaming. You have to explain the game. Let me just tell you something. Gaming, even though they're not paid from the casinos directly. Well, indirectly, if it wasn't for the casinos, they wouldn't have jobs.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have nothing to monitor. True. So it's hard to win a gaming case. I've had gaming on the phone. I have Nevada Gaming right on my phone. I've talked to them already. And you know what the guy told me on the phone? He said, "Oh, they can do what they want, sir."
I love that you actually call.
Private property. Yeah, look, Nevada Gaming.
Wow.
It's right on there. It's Nevada Gaming. Here, and there's a number. And there's the phone number. I mean, I've had them on the phone, and they've never helped me because it's private property. They can do what they want, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bill, I'd like to remind you, or not to remind you, I would just like to enlighten you that last week we spoke of a major UFC fight that just happened this past Saturday. There was 2 title fights, and I picked both of the title fights correctly last week. I gave out 2 winners last week on this show.
It says
Bill.
here Rob's parlay hit.
His parlay might have hit, but also, what does it say right before that?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It says John was right, Rob was wrong.
How did he hit the parlay then?
I don't know. I think he's going to type it in right now, but he tried to tell me that Glover Teixeira was going to win, I believe, over Jamal Hill.
Burns and Jessica hit, he said.
Oh, he had
the main
Burns
events wrong.
and he had the main events wrong. The ones that count, he had wrong. He had Gilbert Burns beating Neil Magny. Just to put that in perspective, that's the fight that I told you Neil Magny was plus 420. So he picked that one right, where the big favorite won.
Good.
Congrats, Rob.
That's hard to do, Rob.
Hard
Good
to
job.
pick the big favorite. Unbelievable. But yeah, Brandon Moreno got it done in dramatic, epic fashion. He put on a clinic in that fight against Davison Figueiredo, and as I said, Jamal Hill was the best bet on the card. I said he's the best bet on the card. He will beat Glover Teixeira for the light heavyweight belt, and he did exactly that. So
cool.
There you go.
Let's go back to your dad.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Your dad was here last weekend.
Yes.
And I had a bunch of people go to the show.
Yeah.
And they all got backstage and got to be with your dad. And your dad is just, he's an amazing person. He's the last of the Mohicans. There's nobody left like that. They had a doo-wop guy there. I say doo-wop
Johnny
guy.
Patillo.
Legendary Johnny Patillo.
Yeah.
He sang with many groups, sang with his own.
Danny and the
Asbury
Juniors.
Park, Danny and the Juniors.
Yep.
And I've been to a lot of doo-wop shows. I used to take my mom all the time, so I love those kind of groups. My cousin is the original drummer for a group named the Earls, which is Larry Chance and the Earls.
Did you get to meet Patillo by any chance?
Oh, yeah. I took a picture with him. Got to meet him backstage.
Yeah. Do you know who his cousin is?
No.
Danny DeVito.
Oh, wow.
How crazy is that?
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, it's his cousin.
So maybe he's from, because Danny DeVito was from Bradley Beach area there. What's the next town over there? Anyway, so they're from the area there, and now you're saying he was from like Asbury Park. I read he was singing on the street corners in Asbury Park, and that's where Danny DeVito and Jack Nicholson was both from that area there. Neptune, New Jersey. Neptune, 2 towns from Asbury. So that's it's pretty interesting. Actually, it's the next town from Asbury, the more I think about it. And so really good show. He was on stage with them, really mixed up the show. This show was so cool. I sat next to, I text you.
Mary Eisenhower,
Dwight D. Eisenhower's granddaughter, very well-presented, elegant girl, lady. And it was really cool, though. We got to see some different, your dad said on stage singing a song, in the middle of the song, Krackomberger, in the middle of singing the song. So I was kind of, people thought, oh, what's that line in the song? I
don't know that lyric. What is that?
Yeah, so it was great. We had them, and backstage was a madhouse. There was 50 people back there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
More.
And it's a tiny backstage, too, so it's really tough to.
Can't believe none of us got sick. Yeah. Anyway, that's what someone said back there, COVID Central. I was like, oh, come on. But no, they were great back there, and your dad takes time for everyone. I had a friend of mine from Chicago come in. He loved them. Had another big guy in there, and it was great. Show was great, and there's no shows like that left. So many people talking about it after. By the way, all the shows sold out, right?
Yes.
All 3 shows.
Yes.
Sold out.
Yes.
That's sick.
I had to buy tickets for friends.
Yeah.
Including you, but you weren't having it. You sneakily. I
went back and
how did you know though? How did you know it wasn't a comp?
Because on the bottom it said it.
Damn, you looked that close.
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah. No, I'm not having.
Do I get any props that I actually did buy you tickets?
No,
so I tried.
No, you did. Yeah. So but I went back and got your money back.
It feels weird buying tickets for your father's show. Let me tell you. That's
you only get so many comps per show, and everyone's requesting them.
Yeah.
So
tough.
Not a big deal. Anyway,
let's talk real quick about Crack Wins, guys. Crack Wins has been on fire.
Killed them last week. Yeah, and you know what? I say that because the week before I came on and said I lost.
Yeah, you're honest about it, week in and week out.
Yeah, no, props are going to kill them. We got more props. This weekend should be a good prop weekend. And college basketball has been on a roll. Got a lot of other things happening. Golf and
is golf back or it's coming back? It's back already.
Yeah, golf's back. Yeah, so.
You do well in golf.
Some weird tournaments this week. I looked at some favorite. I went on DraftKings and looked. I can't believe guys are this low to win golf tournaments. But there's a couple different tournaments this week. You hear what happened yesterday with Patrick Reid and McIlroy? Anybody?
No. Wait. Yeah. Oh, the press conference.
Well, he threw a tee at them. Patrick Reid threw a tee at Rory.
Oh no. Okay.
Patrick Reid went over. This is a tour that's in somewhere over there in one of those third world countries, and Patrick Reid went over to Rory to say hello to him, shook hands with the caddy, and Rory ignored him because Patrick Reid's part of the LIV tour.
Got it.
A lot the regular PGA guys can't go over to that tour, but the LIV guys can come over to the American tour on certain situations. And Rory's thinks that people shouldn't have left and whatever. It's easy for Rory to say he's got $200 million in the bank. Give me a break. Right. So. And Rory ignored him, and Patrick Reid took a tee and flung it at him.
Really?
And it was a big story. But anyway,
Rory's just upset that he can't win anymore.
He's 3-1 favorite. That was my thing this week. How can it possibly be? Look at this. I mean, 3-1. You're 3-1, Rory, to win the tournament this weekend.
Wow.
Who's taking 3-1 to win a tournament this weekend? So the Dubai Desert Classic this weekend. Rory's 3-1 outright winner plus 330. The closest to him is Tyrell Hatton plus 11-1. Nobody should be taking 3-1 on a golf tournament. Now I understand this is a different kind, but listen, Shane Lowry, Tommy Fleetwood, this is some major guys that are playing in this tournament. Victor Perez, there's some major big names in this tournament. Anyway,
is there anyone that you're liking?
No, I'm not going to be ever betting one of these.
George, you follow golf?
I do. Oh, especially when the season. I consider the season starting right around now.
Okay,
it builds up to around the Masters, and then I kind of fall off. I play in the summer.
Oh, okay. Well, make sure you guys go to crackwins.com or just download the app on Apple, on Google Play, and you can start making some money. And then once you do that, head on over to WSN and get your first-time sign-up bonus.
Yep, I'm on WSN.com right now. And again, guys, the number one thing is the bonuses they negotiate for you with these sports books in these new, legal states. You click on legal states, and I always start with New Jersey. So let's start with New Jersey, and then you could see the sports book offerings they have. Some of them are really, really insane. You can get better bonuses on WSN than you can going to the actual website or doing a search on that particular sports book. kind of shocks me. But just give you a couple of them. BetMGM, $1,000 first bet offer. DraftKings, deposit bonus up to $1,000. Caesars up to $1,250. FanDuel, $5 get you $150 in free bets. They're just really wanting to sign people up. Bet Rivers, $500 first free bet. You can go to from SI Sportsbook, Bet365, Unibet, PointsBet up to $2,000 in free bets. These are really good bonuses on the site there. Tipico, which Tipico in New Jersey, they're in some other jurisdictions too, but Tipico's in New Jersey. They're a good sports book, but to have, especially with a $500 bonus right now, they offer some things I noticed. I picked them apart, especially on props. They actually did. You could fund unbelievable. It's amazing how these companies negotiate with other casinos. So for Tipico, you can go to Ocean's Casino. That's where you have to put the money up. It's kind of weird. Oceans, they have their own sports book steps away from the counter, but you can fund it there. How about you can go to Golden Nugget, and that's where you put your money in for FanDuel at Golden Nugget, even though Golden Nugget has its own sports book. It's kind of funky how that happens.
Yeah, it is.
But
so they share in that. There
must be a revenue share or a deposit share, right? Something. They get something. So anyway, WSN for all the bonuses. Then you can go on and get all of our podcasts that we've had on there. You can watch them there. Latest predictions, odds, and news. Of course, the U.S. sports betting news. I always like to see these little rumblings of going on through the industry. This site, WSN, puts up new articles every day. So the different things going on there, like I'm literally in front of the thing. Georgia lawmakers are attempting to track sports betting. Those Bible Belt those Bible Belt states down there, they're tough. Like North Carolina, man, I don't even know when, like these, by the way, North Carolina, giant, big money being bet illegally with the, places offshore. They're just missing out on the money in North Carolina.
Missouri too.
Yeah, so calls to legalize North Carolina mobile sports betting are increasing in 2023. All different things here. It's funny. There's an article here. New York bill includes problem gambling warnings. So a big tweet I put up yesterday on Twitter was, I see all these companies that are putting out these. Last week, someone bet $5 on each game to win the first score of the game, one of the players, and he hit it for $73,000. It's a giant hit, giant. So, of course, the sportsbook puts it out there. Look what someone did here. Hey.
Right.
They make it look too easy for everybody.
Yeah.
They make it look, look at the score.
$5 to $70K.
So the real article I put up there was a problem gambling article that I'm surprised ESPN wrote. Someone on ESPN wrote, they interviewed the Council on Addictive Gambling in Connecticut. And they interviewed the whole department. And what a great, I read it twice, just to show you what's going on in this. They're just they're just a small example of what's going on in all these other 30-some states. Their hotlines are out of control. They don't have enough clerks to handle the incoming calls saying I have a problem, something's wrong, I lost my family, I lost my life, It's unbelievable how bad the problem is. So I try to talk about both things. I know sometimes the sponsors and stuff get nervous, but I talk about both things because the ESPN's writing articles on it. They take ads from DraftKings and everything. So why can't I talk about it? It's something that I think should be addressed, and I think responsible gaming should be a big part of all these states that are legalizing sports betting. I like to see that ad on that article on WSN.com about New York introducing the bill to include problem gambling warnings and hotlines in their ads. So perfect example again is not only that. If you read the article, you'll see the big problem becomes when the games are over and now you're left with online gambling.
Correct.
You could play slot machines. You could play blackjack.
Right.
You could play virtual.
All with the touch of a button. It's so easy. You're not even touching the cash. You don't feel it. $20 feels different online than it does
I would like
tangible
to bet.
cash.
I have no problem betting a live game. They have live games now. They put a video camera on a live dealer,
right?
And you're playing there. If I could sit on the last base, if Anthony Curtis was here, he'd explain this to you too. If I could sit on the last chair and count cards online, you're welcome to do that. That's beatable.
Yeah,
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that's beatable. But it's very monotonous. You have to take a lot of time and stuff into it.
Right.
Leave a lobby, come back in. No, I'm not in the last chair. Leave a lobby, come back in.
Well, you're gonna leave if it's a bad count. Yeah, if it's a bad count, if it's not good, you can't do anything except for leave the table and go to another one and go to another one, hop around. I'm sure people are doing that now. I'm sure it's happening. But anyway, responsible gambling. New Jersey's real big on that. New Jersey's real big on if you deposit money, they want to know where the money comes from, where it originates, what your job is. You bring a bill in. I mean, New Jersey's pretty good with the bigger players.
Yeah.
If someone that's betting small, which that's the majority of everyone, that's problems normally.
Yeah.
If you have under $4,000 in your account, no one's going to say anything to you. But if you go in and put $50,000 up, they want to know where the money's coming from.
Right.
So I find that pretty interesting. So
well said.
WSN.com for all those kind of articles. Perfect.
George, we didn't really interview you. We just threw you in here, but I do have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Question me.
2 years ago, when you started here as an intern at Sticky Paws, did you envision at one point becoming a host of a show like Gridiron Junkeez? And then now you've been on multiple shows in the last couple of months.
Yeah, I know.
What is this like?
I feel like I'm doing something right. But if I'm going to be Marcus Allen-esque, he said this on your Action Junkie show, I manifested this. Like when I was a kid and I watched ESPN religiously, no Disney movies in my household.
Wow.
Right? Like when I put myself in a position where that's all my life has been, I knew that it was a calling, and, teaching led me to quick money so I can make money in my early 20s, right? Mm-hmm. But now it was time to take the shot, right? And you gave me the opportunity, me being close with Travis,
nice.
Gave me this chance. So I know what it entails on both ends now. So what it takes to engineer a show, the technical side behind posting it, but then to also have the ability to come on camera. I think that's what will make me, indispensable.
Nice.
And I'm really looking forward to in the coming years, with the way that sports news is growing, ESPN, as much as I love them and I grew up with them, they're going away.
Yeah.
And it's shows like this that are really going to fill the airwaves. And I'm looking forward to that.
You're a good example of someone that's in sports betting media. Sports betting. You live in Las Vegas. You'll blow away anyone on those networks. I'll tell you why. They don't know what it's like.
Right.
I'm not just picking on ESPN. Any one of these talking heads that are out there and
Fox, whatever.
In sports news land that want to tell you what to bet or tell you about lines on a game or something, you have a big step on. Unfortunately, Disney owns them, and since you just down Disney, you're never going to get invited on the Disney Channel.
I know. I watched some.
Or ESPN.
I watched some Disney movies.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this was fun. This was a lot of fun. This blew by.
All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.